All right. We're live, sister. We are live. So excited that you are here, Elisa. We're going to have the best time ever today talking and just having a conversation around what you do as a coach and how you help people reach their potential 10 times faster. We're going to talk about how we met. We're going to talk about why we're having this conversation. We're also going to talk about from where you were to where you are today. So first, though, I want to just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. And then I'm going to dive into some awesome questions, and we're going to get to know more about you and the amazing services that you offer. So please take the stage.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. This is my first podcast, and I'm thrilled to be here with Alex. I adore you, Alex. I am a transformational life coach. So I help people through any transition in their life really make progress, and I hold them accountable to their goals, but really helping them. I use the coactive method. So I help them by shifting who they're being so that they can get what they want and manifest their dreams. I love working with anyone who's on a spiritual path. Spirituality is one of my primary values, and so is freedom. And so I tend to jive with those people. I am agnostic to what type of spiritual path. And so mine's been quite the ride, as I'm sure most of yours has. It is not for the weary. And I'm just excited to be here. I live in Denver, Colorado. I moved here about 1.5 years ago, and I am just loving coaching and loving meeting amazing people like Alex.
Awesome. Yeah. And we met through a professional networking group called BNI. And I came... Why did I come to your group again? I don't think it really matters, but
you met me with Speed Networking.
Oh, Speed Networking. Yes. Speed Networking. We met through there and immediately connected. And I love fellow coaches, because when you have someone that can coach you through life and can help you identify your blind spots, you're going to get to your goals 10 times faster. And it is an investment of your time, and it's an investment of your money. But in my opinion, if you want to reach your goals in 10 years, don't hire a coach. You want to reach your goals in less than a year, hire a coach, hire someone that can help you. So you're so what's the word I'm looking for? Humble about your experience and when you come in, or explaining who you are. You have over 20 years of corporate experience, and you worked in a variety of industries and cultures. You have an international MBA from Thunderbird, and you understand what it means to be engaged in a corporate career while seeking to build a whole, rich, and meaningful life. And I love that. You've studied spiritual modalities, including clairvoyant healing, aura readings, Reiki, shamanism. Go ahead.
Shamanism.
Yes. Okay. And then 2 others, Ayurveda and Theta. Is that right?
Ayurveda and Theta. Yeah.
Okay. So what the heck are all these things? Explain to us, and you don't have to explain all of them, but just as much as you're willing to, what are these and what are these spiritual modalities? What do they do?
So maybe it would be helpful to just talk a little bit about my journey and how I came from corporate America into doing aura readings, because that's like, what? How did that happen? I was married to a Frenchman briefly, and I like to say that he was like an angel. He woke me up. He woke me up because I was like pig-headedly going down the path of like, get married, have children, check the box, have the corporate job, do the thing. And when he left and it was a mutual parting, it was like, all of a sudden I realized that I get a choice in my life. Like, I don't have to have a life like everyone else has a life. And the day after he left, I got drunk. But we're just
let's just be real. Let's be real. No judgment zone here, people.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for not judging. The next day was my first improv class. And so improv was like the weirdest like intro into spirituality ever, because it's just that concept of yes and, of accepting everything that comes to you. And then once I was like open to that, I was able to like, things would come. Like I started studying Ayurveda, which is an Indian medicine. It's all about, um, it's all about paying attention to what you eat. You are what you digest, not what you eat. And then then I just like followed the breadcrumbs, right? That led to theta, then it led to Reiki, and then it led to shamanism, and then it led to clairvoyant training. And it was just like, woo, 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 woo. And at some point I realized that, it was becoming greedy. I was becoming spiritually greedy by doing all this without putting it out there in the world. But I was still in corporate America, and I was staying in my little box, and I was trying to be good, right? I was trying to please everyone else and make people comfortable. And finally, I found coaching in 2018. And during I want to say my first class, on the third day, the instructor came over and he said, "Where were you all weekend?" Because it was the first time in my life where I was given the freedom to be all of me. And all of me is silly and crazy and wild, and I drop the F bomb, but I'm also quiet and reserved and sweet and generous. And coaching was in that transformational period. I felt what it was like to truly be me, and to be you or be me, be anyone is the most courageous thing you can do in life. I'm just sick of the people who are staying in the box. We need to get out of the box and really bring our gifts to the world. Our world needs us right now. So that's, sorry, brain on fire. So that led me into coaching, and which is what I love to do now. So I've collected all these spiritual modalities. I bring a ton of intuition to my coaching, as well as the corporate background I have, which there's something to be said for being organized and efficient and getting it done and not having to be out there willy-nilly. So I have the woo-woo, but I also I bring to everyone, I bring to the world structure, which I think is much needed as well. Uh-oh, you're off camera.
Thank you. Okay, awesome. I was saying I totally agree with you, and it's right. There's a good balance between having structure and having the creative side. And so tell us a little bit more about what happened when you got divorced, and then you got drunk for a day, and then you kept going, right?
Yeah.
That is something that so many women go through. And you as a person, you're a single woman. You're not married. You don't have kids, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So this is awesome. There's so many friends that I have that are in the same boat, and they have a lot of anxiety around being single, no kids, 35 to 45. And they almost like it's this weird age in the 30s where they're like, is it ever going to happen for me? Or am I going to be single alone forever? And what do you say to those women? What would you say to those women?
I think it's a matter of just getting really clear on what information is theirs and what is societal. Because it took me a long time to own, because no one likes this, right? I don't want to have children. I didn't want to have children, but I was on autopilot. And so I would say to them to really get connected to themselves, to what they really want, right? Like start visioning, take a look into the future and be like, do I want to be, changing diapers in 5 years? And if you do, that's fantastic. Let's get you there. Let's prioritize dating and get you out there and find ways to manifest that, whether it be with a partner or by yourself. There are so many options today. So it's just really getting clear on where is this coming from? Is this really what is in alignment with my purpose? And if it's not, taking ownership over it. And if it is, taking ownership over it, right? Get out there. Like people say to me, everyone expects me to be out online dating, and I'm not, because that's not where I want to put my effort right now. It is right now. One of my biggest mind hacks is right now. Always at the end of everything, right now, I'm not focused on dating. Right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll decide to just go gangbusters on OkCupid, but right now, not.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Being able to identify, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? And right now it doesn't mean it's going to be permanent, right? It's just right now. This is what I am or am not doing right now. And what a great topic to bring up around what information is my own and what information is society's. And I'd like to dive in because of the timing that we're recording this episode. It's November 6th, 2020. And everyone's sitting on their seat waiting to find out who's going to be the next president of the United States, right? Whether it's going to be Joe Biden or Trump. And there's a lot of information that's fed to us, again, which is society's information, depending on, what Facebook knows about you and things you've clicked on and the information that's coming in, that becomes your reality, right? Because I know Republicans that are not even like just Republicans. I know Trump supporters, and that is like 100% truth to them. Mm-hmm. And I know Biden supporters, and that's 100% truth to them. Mm-hmm. And it's there, and it's just interesting that you bring up like what's my information, what's society's, and being able to identify that and have discernment, and then make a choice on what you want, which is why our country is so amazing and why we're so, I don't want to say divided, but there's different sides, which is divided anyway, but more than ever, more people voted this time around than ever before in the history of the United States. So just wanted to kind of cue that, tie that in there just because of timing and just to have grace and compassion for ourselves and for other people. But I want to get back to you. I want to get back to your to things that you were just talking about and ask some more questions. But I want to see if you have anything to say about what we're going through right now and for people that may be struggling right now.
This is loaded, and I try to remain in the middle. Clearly, I have views, and I'm a woman and come from a certain background. So what I would say about the whole political situation is let's try to find some common ground. We are all getting bombarded with different news, right? We're getting different information. So where can we, and I'll speak from a coaching perspective, if you're an American, likely one of your primary values is freedom. And both sides, I think, can agree to that. And so let's use that as a building block to have a conversation, because we have different views of what freedom is, right? Like if you dig into people's values, my view of freedom is different from yours, Alex. And so it hurts my heart to see our country so divided right now, and clearly so. I mean, this election, if it wasn't brought to light before this, it now is. And so regardless of what side of the aisle you sit on, it's not all divided. It's not all black and white. Like we can't keep polarizing people. So one of so I've dropped values in, right, which is a great coaching technique to really identify what your values are and then be able to communicate when they're not being honored and when they're being honored. Another coaching technique that could be useful to this situation, and I'm not going to get preachy, but curiosity. Like, wouldn't it be nice to sit down with someone and find out why they think the way they do without it becoming a confrontation? So if there's one thing I could encourage is to really tap into what your values are and then use curiosity and lean in. Like we can't, we're going to do what we're going to do. So I'm in acceptance of it, but that's, I don't know, that's my prayer and my wish.
Mine too, sister. Mine too. Know your values and find out where do you bring value to the world in? One of my dear friends who's also a coach, she talks, that's her main coaching, is like, where do you find, what value do you bring to the world, and what makes you shine? Like, what's that inner light shine? So when where do you find that you're like, I remember there's a girl named Courtney. She's a yoga massage therapist, and she was ranting and raving about how, like, before she was working with you, life felt really confusing in her business, and it was hard, and she wasn't finding joy, because when you're in business, you are the CEO, the CFO, the payroll, you are director of HR, director of marketing, you are everything. You're everything, and that is so much to take on, and just to jump in and do it. So I have two questions here. What did you do with Courtney for her less than 3 months later to say how much she loves her business and how much joy she finds in it and how happy she is? Like, when I met her, it was at the end of y'all's coaching together, and I didn't recognize the person she was describing. So I want to see, what did you do to take a woman from, I hate being in business, to this is amazing and I love what I'm doing? How did you do that?
I have no idea. That's the magic of coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's why it's a process. So I offer a 3-month program as well as a 7-month program, and it's incremental, right? Like, how do I describe it? And it's hard. Coaching is hard to describe if you've never experienced it. But the way that I describe it is, and I'm going to try because it's hard. I'm going to try. It's like being in this yummy universe where everything you care about matters, and you're being held without judgment, with just sincerity and love. And you're being asked to, like, change your perspective, shift your thought patterns, vision, go bigger than you thought you ever could, and let yourself have everything you want. And so I can't speak exactly to what transformed, but that's the power of the coaching relationship, of asking the right question and getting the coachee to really connect to what they want. A lot of us, and this is again societal patterning. Thank you, society. We never questioned, right? We were told, you're in this box and you can only be this big, and so we play small. And so to, like, give yourself the vision that you want in life, it's a little scary. And to be held in that coaching and supported and championed through, and as a coach, I call your bullshit. I call, like, when you are playing small and you're falling back into those old patterns, and just stand with you on the journey. So I hope that gave a little bit of a nugget of answer.
It did. And I appreciate you and respect you even more for saying, I don't really know how we did it, because it is magical. I've had coaches or mentors. I've been lucky enough to have mentors or pay when I've paid for coaching for, I think, like six years now. Like, ever since I got into the sales world, there was always somebody wiser and who had my best interest at heart that would take me under their wing and guide me. And it's something to be, there's no, like, specific route to recovery of, our self-destruction. Like you talked about, like, we naturally play small, and we second guess ourselves, and being able to have someone call you on your BS, your bullshit, that is what's going to help us move forward, especially in the entrepreneurial world. Because when you're in a job, like you said, in corporate America, there's structure, right? And it's organized, it's efficient, and it gets done. And when you step out of that, it just looks, in my experience, it looks so much easier than it actually is. And has that been, so I want to talk a little bit about your journey. You came from corporate America, And you said you started coaching. Did you say you started coaching on the side, or did you go full time into coaching?
I was coaching on the side while I was still in corporate America. And then I went full time into coaching when I moved to Colorado. So I picked up, moved to a place I don't know anyone, and I'm going to date myself here, all you youngies. And I hung up my shingle. What people used to do when they open shop. Um, and then I was like, where is everybody? And one of my coaches, because of course I have coaches as well, because why wouldn't you have a coach? Why wouldn't you have extra support in your life? She was like, you're still thinking of as a COO and you're now the CEO, right? So you have to be the face of the business and you have to be the one going out to get business. And at the time I said, thank you for putting me in the C-suite. I really appreciate that. But but it is to become an entrepreneur, you have to adjust pretty much everything in your life. And my journey in this, I would say in this past year, has been well, transformative just sounds bleh. But it's just like every day I get to see parts of myself that I was not aware of. I get to see shadow self. I get to see the person who's playing small. I get to be scared of coming on this podcast for looking like an asshole, you know? And I get the opportunity to stretch and to grow and to learn new things. And it's not easy, but it is worth every second of the journey. Is so if anyone's looking to move into that space or walk away from corporate, my advice would be hang on to the corporate job and start moving in the direction that you want to while you have that paycheck.
And are you, if someone is currently in corporate America or non-corporate America, but they really do want to be on their own, maybe COVID has given them this gift of being able to see, hey, I really actually want to stay home more with my kids, or I really want more time freedom to be an entrepreneur because I was furloughed from work or I was fired from my job, whatever it is. And they realize, wow, I really didn't have as much job security as I thought I did, or I don't want to go back to work, right? A lot of people that I work with, they don't want to go back to work. And so, I bring them onto my team and I work with them and then we make money together. And so, but maybe they don't want to do what I do. Maybe they want to do their own thing. Maybe they want, like yesterday, we were on a walk at Wash Park with our new friend, Kate. Well, Elisa's new friend, I've known her for a little while now, but our friend Kate, and she loves photography and web design, right? So it doesn't have to be anything like, it's nothing specific, right? Or do you work with people that have specific career goals? What does that look like for you? Who's like your ideal client? What kind of people come to us? Can you tell us a couple of stories?
Oh, sure. So I'll give you a couple because it's across the spectrum. But again, the common denominator are people who have some sort of belief in a higher power. It doesn't have to be an almighty God. It can be divine. It can be just anyone walking a spiritual path is the common denominator. So I have worked with people in their 20s, like Courtney, who are starting their own business, trying to get out of their own way. I've worked with people, I've worked a lot with people in their 20s and early 30s around purpose. And I feel like purpose is one of those things that if we weren't blessed enough to know what we wanted to do when we were 12 or whatever, and bless you all who knew what you wanted to do when you were 12. I'm so jealous. But we get hit with this, like, what's your purpose? What's your purpose? And you kind of like get stuck in this rut. And so what I do is I help people find their purpose, at least find their purpose for now, so that they can recognize their gifts and start putting their gifts into the world with this kind of longer agenda, right? And we don't know where the journey is going to take us. Sometimes we do, but we at least need to start taking steps along the way to get to that vision that we're holding for ourselves, right? And so even in your 20s, your 30s, you can start taking those steps And it doesn't mean you need to leave your corporate job. Corporate jobs are great. There's a lot of satisfaction there, and you get to work on teams and all that. So that's one group of people. One of my I can't say favorites because it's like parents, but I'm working with this woman in her 70s who is launching her own business, and it's a shamanism business, and she just started a whole set of workshops, and she's doing it out of her apartment in San Francisco, and it is just it's just a blessing to see her blossom into like what she wants to do and see her take ownership of the teacher within that she is, because she is wise and she can help the world and she can help move things forward. So those are two examples. I also, a lot of the people I work with are, they're looking for more joy and creativity in their lives. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of fun. And I just like, I look for joy in everything I do. And I look for meaning in everything I do. And I'm just sorry, I'm looking at my like altar and these plants and everything around me. And if I can teach that to people through the coaching of seeing where they can find their own joy. And that's a shift in itself. Right? To look on the positive side instead of what's wrong with my life, what's missing.
Absolutely. And because you talked earlier about defaulting to playing small, looking at what's wrong in our lives. And why is it so easy for people to default to negativity? Why is it hard? Why is this work so hard, girl? And this is a selfish question for me too, because it just seems natural. Would you agree to think negatively?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it depend on who you are? It probably depends on who you are.
No, I think it's a natural, it's natural to look at what we don't have instead of appreciating what we have. I also, and I'm sorry, I'm giving society a bad rap, but I think our society supports our complaints, right? Our conditions, and that's, let's shift the conversation again. Like, let's shift, let's lean in, let's talk about what is going on right in our lives. Let's talk about what we're proud of, what we've accomplished, instead of like, the criticism we got yesterday or how Johnny doesn't like us, like it's really just shifting. It's a perspective shift. It's shifting your perspective and starting to change the conversations you have. And that it's a ripple effect, right? As soon as you start changing, others change, or they stop wanting to be with you, which is probably okay, right? If they're going to be downers, like, just shift the conversation to the things you are proud of. One of the things that shocks me in coaching is how, and don't get this confused with humility, but we don't celebrate ourselves enough, right? We get a big award or a big promotion and we play small with it. We don't let ourselves have that elation or that moment of deep, deep pride for having done our hard work. We hide it. And so one of the things with coaching is letting yourself have the elation and then have the sadness and let it go. Because as soon as you have the emotion, it's gone. But if you hang on to it, it sticks around. Sorry, I've gone on a tangent, but I think you got it.
I do. And I want you to go on tangents because that's what this show is all about. It's about bringing on experts who have the insight to share with our community around what's going to bring value, and that's what it's completely all about. So you're saying that if you're around somebody that is negative or bringing you down, you said to change. Did you say something around like change the conversation? I apologize. I had something pop up over here and I lost track. So unprofessional. So unprofessional, but I don't
Right.
want to miss what you said. And because I think it's really important, what you were saying.
No, I said, so you can, I mean, let's go back to this, like basics. Who can you control? No one but yourself. So you get to control the conversation you have. You can't control what people are complaining to you constantly, but you can control how, whether you meet that or you just decide to talk about what's good in your life. You shift it to what is going well instead of what is going poorly. COVID is a great example, right? It's very easy to get sucked into what can't I do? Why can't I go to Hawaii this year? And I don't know why air quotes, but um, but and it is a tough time. It is a hard time, and acknowledge that, like own that. But the attachment to these things that we used to do isn't going to help you through this. So shift to like what is possible. I get to stay home with my plants and my dogs and hang out and listen to good music and drink good wine and whatever it is that delights you, even if it's just having a little dance party every day for yourself and shifting your mood, shifting your energy, and really taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, loving yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Like staying attached to what was is not helpful. And that is, I find myself going there, daydreaming about the way life was to where it is now. And also there is, I'm pretty calm most of the time. Sometimes I'm almost like apathetic about life, working on that. And like where there's just so much that's happened this year. It's almost like it's easier not to feel than to lean in and feel the feelings that are coming up. And that's just an observation I've noticed in my life. Like this year's been so crazy. I'm just like, whatever. And if like, for us moms of two-legged kids, not the four-legged kids, if the two-legged kids come back home from school, that's just going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. But would you say that now for people that maybe do have fear around starting their dream job and like, but in their mind, they keep seeing, but COVID, what do you say to them?
I would say, why not now, right? The world has taken a little bit of a pause, and it's a great time to lean in and dive in, right? Things are a little bit slower. There's not as much to do. So you could watch Netflix, which is a great pastime. I don't judge that in any way. I enjoy it myself. But like, what a great time to take this opportunity we have of time to connect to what you're passionate about, and just, even if it's baby steps, start making steps towards your dream.
Yeah, little baby steps, right? And there's this way of thinking that creeps up in my life sometimes. It's called all or nothing, black or white. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's not
in Alex's mind before, yes.
Yes, that's right. And it's not, life is not black or white. It's not all or nothing. There's this beautiful thing called the middle ground where we can choose to live and we can be a part of this, kind of the gray area, which is, the gray area is really colorful. And we don't have to go all in with anything, but we can choose to go all in on a dream. So I'm saying two different things here. You don't have to go all in with your time, but you do have, anybody who's listening to this, we give you permission to go all in with your dreams, apparently, right? Like, why not now? You do have time. You do have a perspective. This year has provided that to be able to keep going and be able to dive in. And one of the ways you've helped me do that personally was you and I had, well, we've exchanged services in a few ways, and one of them was an aura reading, and then cleansing chakras, right, or clearing them, things like that. Can you speak a little bit about that service that you offer? Because you're not just a life and business coach. You also offer these spiritual modalities that you've been able to help people with. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I'm still on the black and white thinking, but
we can talk about that. Yeah, whatever.
Well, the thing that came up when you're talking about people wanting to start their own business is one of the books that I love is called Designing Your Life. And one of the things they advocate for in it is to prototype. So say you are into doTERRA, like, start trying different things, right? Like essential oils. If you're, and see what that's like, start interviewing people, have those conversations. And that's a way of not jumping off the ledge, but really starting to find out, get curious what it's like to be a doTERRA rep, or what it's like to be a sous chef at a restaurant, or what it's like to be an entrepreneur by yourself out there, coach or whatever. So that's when you started talking about the black and white, I just wanted to address that. Great book, but if you take nothing else, just, prototype. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go do it. Start getting curious. I think I'm going to say that like 40 times. Okay. So aura readings. So I went to the school called Psychic Horizons in San Francisco, and they have a belief that everyone is capable of their intuition and of reading energy. And I didn't believe it, right? So like I took their courses, their meditation courses, and I was like, no, I'm not that. And then I saw my friend transform literally in front of my eyes. She was my hairstylist. And so at that time I was still getting these things colored. And so I'd see her every 8 weeks. And I just watched her transform in front of my eyes. Like all the stress that she had been carrying, she was chill. So I ended up going back and doing the clairvoyant training. So it was about 2 years of being in trance and reading people's energy. And so that's one of the tools that I take into the coaching experience. So I use my intuition quite a bit. I keep the two things distinct because coaching is very much present forward, right? We're goal oriented. Aura readings are about shedding energetic baggage that you might be carrying. And it could be limiting beliefs. It could be beliefs that aren't yours, like we were talking about, right? Societal, or beliefs that your beautiful parents gave you. And it was kindly meant, but it's not yours. And so when we're in an aura reading, I'm looking at your energy with permission. And I see in pictures. And I read with a ton of amusement. Alex will tell you, I'll be like, ha ha ha, you were killed in a past life. And but I laugh because I get excited about it, right? Because it's stuff when I'm in the reading, looking at your energy, my eyes will be closed, but I'm looking for things that are ready to shift. And more than likely, whatever you show me with that permission are things that you're ready to let go of. And so at the end, we do a clearing of whatever it was seen that's limiting, right? Holding you back from what you want or what you say you want. And then we close up with some really yummy energies and just connect you gracefully to the planet so that you can go on with your day and move forward. And I like to say it's like most people don't get up from one of my readings and quit their job and their husband and move to wherever. Most. So it's more like getting another level of clarity. It's like another layer of the onion is cleared so that you can start making progress to your goals.
Very cool. Yes, and I'll testify to that. When we did mine, it was just really awesome, really amazing, and it really it brought a lot of awareness to me in areas that, oh, okay, yeah, I do agree with that. I do, and there were lots of visions of a little girl version of me in different areas that I need to let go in. And I will say, in the last couple of weeks, there have been some things happening that have allowed me to release that child in multiple ways. And you and I were walking yesterday again at Wash Park with Kate, and I told both of you some examples of how that's been happening. So I highly recommend, if you have found value in this conversation, reach out to Lisa. You can see her website below, and it is www.streamdreamscoaching.com. So that's STREAMDreamscoaching.com. And that was my alphabet.
That was the whole alphabet. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Stream Dreams Coaching. I'm sorry it's so long, but come find me.
It's very cool. I'm curious, before we wrap up, what made you choose Stream Dreams Coaching as the name of your business?
Because it makes me smile.
Oh.
You follow the energy, right?
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I smile. And so I hope it makes some other people smile too.
Oh, I'm sure. And what else? Is there anything that I missed that you feel like would be valuable that we need to cover for this episode that we're recording?
So the one last thing that when you were talking about the aura reading, brought up that I think might be useful to people is, when you bring something into consciousness, you can do something about it. It's when it's in unconsciousness that you can't do anything, or you don't even know what's holding you back. And so one of the beautiful things about being held in a coaching relationship, be it with me or any other coach, and plug for coaches everywhere, I'm a big fan. Find someone who you jive with. Most of us do free introductory calls. So you could do free introductory calls till the cows go home and get free coaching all across America, or across the world, actually. I'm not necessarily advocating for that, but look for the energy that inspires you, and bring the unconscious into conscious so you can start making change.
Yeah, you're so right. It's almost like when you're not aware of what's running your life, how can you stop it and have it run in a different direction that you want it to go in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And take that from an empowerment standpoint, right? You are all in control, right? You've got this.
Yes, I completely agree. Well, the services that you're providing to our community, especially right now, is so important. So again, I just can't say enough that if you have a part-time gig, like a side hustle, and you want to make it a full-time hustle, or you just want to learn how to bring more joy into your business, into your life, whether it's through an aura reading, or whether it's through 3-month coaching or 7-month coaching, or just or a free call with Elisa, I highly recommend it. I know a couple of people who have worked with her, and it's been hands down the best thing they ever did. And I can't say enough about you, girl. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing. And I'm grateful that you decided to say yes to coming on and letting me interview you. As nerve-wracking as it can be, to be interviewed on such a public platform, it really means a lot. And I know the people that have made it this far into the conversation found a lot of value in it too. So is there any final words of wisdom that you would like to leave us with?
Just be good to yourselves.
Yeah. Good. Well, we will do that. Everyone, that is we're not doctors, but doctors' orders, pretend doctor orders Be good to yourself. All right. Well, I will end the live broadcast, and then you and I will connect in just a second.
Thank you all.
Okay.